Welcome to another Realty Talk with Anthony Joplin. I am not Anthony Joplin. I was specifically hired to handle the intros because he is not responsible to do it himself.
Fair.
Your host, Anthony Joplin. How the heck are you?
Not so bad, Donna. How are you?
I'm doing really good, thanks.
Before we start, we should always cheers.
With the eye contact.
There it is.
Clink. Mm-hmm. All right. We're starting this Realty Talk off super strong with a fun game of Would You Rather. And we're going to go over some fun Reddit stories that I found that I would love to get your input in as a professional, but then also not as a professional, because we all need the dual contrast of both. So, would you rather live in a luxurious downtown penthouse with no outdoor space or in a spacious suburban home with a large yard but a long commute?
Oh, how long's the commute?
I would say anything in San Diego, a 30-minute commute is not even a commute. So let's call it a cool 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay, 45 minutes to an hour. Suburbs. In the burbs. Big yard.
A yard.
A yard?
Large yard.
Large yard. Got it. Okay. Pool?
Sure, if you have a large enough yard for a pool, yeah. Let's just keep being super granular with this. Would you rather?
Okay. Well, the biggest question I'm gonna have is, do I have my wife and baby?
Obviously.
Okay, then it's gonna be Suburbia Central, ladies and gentlemen, because no matter what I say,
I could never just driving through any metropolitan area, downtown San Diego, terrible. I can't tell you how many red lights I've run because I'm looking at the next light. That's green.
Officer, she's right here. This is her, officer. She's right here.
Literally so many times. And it's the worst because you run it, you're like, oh, okay, we're good. This hasn't happened recently. So,
Statute of limitations apply.
Yes. Would you rather only do residential with more frequent transactions and lower commission, or only commercial with less frequent transactions but higher commission? I know you do both.
Right.
You have to pick one.
Okay. As much as I like the brain damage of commercial real estate, it's great, but it's a grind. It's a grind. So if you do 6 to 8 transactions a year in commercial, you're doing, really, really well. It depends, commercial lease up versus, multifamily purchase and sale. If you just do residential and you can just do base hits, 2, 3 transactions, 4 transactions a month, I would rather do that, because those, if you're working with the right people, those are, okay, double-edged sword on that. The residential side, very touchy-feely. Look at this court. What about the drapes?
You really got to sell to the person.
God, I fucking hate that, though.
Yeah. Whereas I feel like commercial, you can kind of just be a businessman.
It's a numbers game.
Yeah.
What's the cap rate? What's my rate of return? What's this look like? What's my deferred maintenance? Things like that. So at the end of the day, it's easier to work the commercial people, ? It's hard to say because there's a lot of tough people out there buying commercial. But residential, if you can just get a good team, I would rather do residential, pushed off the team, and then go on vacations.
So it's more about the behind the scenes as opposed to the person you're trying to sell to or for. Makes sense. All right. Would you rather own a historic, character-filled home? That's the key word, character. They use that on International House Hunters all the time, and it's like a drinking game. How many times do they say, oh, I want my house to have character? It's a drink. It's a fun game. It's messed my mom up on a number of occasions.
Wait, so we should play that game here. We'll superimpose. We'll figure that out. But so the whole House Hunters thing, it's like, oh yeah, I'm a school teacher. I study lizards for a living. My budget's $3 million. Like, who are these people?
Our favorite, we always play everyone against Cody. Because Cody, my husband, when we play International House Hunters, they always show 3 houses. They always seem to pick number 2.
Usually.
Yeah. So Cody I take number 2. Everyone else, 1 or 3.
Yep.
So if they don't pick 2, Cody has to take a shot.
That's perfect.
More often than not, they pick 2. And we always find it hilarious that they're going there. They're like, we're moving to Spain. We don't want the hustle and bustle of our wherever we're at in
New York.
Ohio. I don't even know. They're just like, I'm sick of it. We're moving with our 2 kids to Spain. We want rural, out of the way, but we want completely updated house. We want a guest bedroom for our guests. Be like, who is visiting you out in Spain? Like, who has the time or the money to just come and visit you in your spare bedroom, maybe once a year for a week?
As a lizard studier.
As a lizard studier. And somehow one of the spouses doesn't work, yet they're moving across the whole world to go do. There's so many things about international house hunters that I love and hate, and I think it's a part of growing up that you look at them, you're like, you're idiots. But also, I love that house. The tile work is amazing. So anyway, would you rather own a historic, character-filled house that requires constant maintenance, or a modern, low-maintenance home with no unique features?
Modern, low maintenance, absolutely. Give me the cookie cutter shit.
Yep. Yeah, just because then it makes breaking into your neighbor's house that much easier. Like, I already know the layout. I can get in and out.
I do this in my house in 10 seconds or less.
Also, I feel like I keep saying things that are going to get me arrested.
Like I said, she's right here, officer.
Would you rather work in a hot real estate market with intense competition, or in a slower market where clients take longer to decide?
Slow market.
Why?
Cultivating. If I can get those people in the slow market to take longer to decide, those people will stay with me longer. I can get repeat business, and I can get the referrals from that business.
Okay.
The hot market, they're going to shop me.
That's true. Yeah.
Flip side. Now,
how much shopping happens in the realtor market, not the real estate market?
So a lot of people just know somebody. So
That's
if you, well, so the first thing you're saying, oh, I'm looking to buy a house. Oh, great. My second cousin's daughter-in-law has been an agent for 8 minutes.
8 whole minutes. Wow.
Yeah. Or it's like, oh, hey, my previous ex-coach from high school, true story.
We just talked about this on the elevator ride up this morning.
my previous ex-football coach, who has had a license for probably since 2006 and has done no transactions. So he's the good, you know what I mean? Like that's
right.
You get the spectrum.
Right. That's true.
So there's a lot of shopping. If you have the listing agents are protected by the listing agreement. Buyer's agents have historically not been protected by buyer's agents agreements because the buyer's agents are too lazy or don't force the buyers to sign a exclusive agency agreement, so they get shopped.
Okay.
No longer with the NAR settlement is this going to be happening. You're going to have compensation agreement plus the representation agreement before you even show a house.
Oh my gosh.
So it's great for buyer's agents. It's scary for a lot of people because they don't know what it is.
Okay.
But if you read the contract, I hate to say it, you're going to have to read the pages.
All of them?
All of them. There's like 8 of them.
Oh my God.
It's unbelievable. So if you read the
or eight whole pages, I'm out. I can't do it.
Can't do it. Oh, you mean for money? I'm out.
I really can't. No.
Yeah.
Do you find that in the hot versus cold market, that there is more people becoming real estate agents than less? And then what's your opinion on people viewing, me personally, I view real estate as everyone thinks they can do it. Everyone has their backup plan as becoming a real estate agent. Is that true?
For most part, yeah.
Do you see that happening a lot?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
That people just come in, they're like, I can sell real estate. It's easy. People get thousands of dollars of commission, so might as well. It can be me.
It happens.
Yeah.
A lot of people will say, okay, well, I can do it better than you can. You're obviously an idiot. I can just take this life. That's kind of how I was like, you guys are freaking idiots. I can do this. And when I took the test, as most people, I didn't do a transaction for the first 12 months.
Oh my gosh.
Sitting here, you think you know people, think you know what to do, unless you get into a mentorship or you get to know the documentation, where to find stuff, you get somebody to coach you. It's hard to start. It's hard to start in the industry. So, but I see a lot of people do it, and then they go, oh, I'm joining this big team, and they do the Daniel Beer, they do the EXP, whatever, right? So they'll join the team, and they'll work for probably a year or two, and then within the first or second year, they'll probably fall out because all the people that they were going to sell to, they did.
Yeah.
And then there's nobody else.
Oh, that's true.
They're like, oh, shucks. Okay, well, my aunt did, my dad did, my cousin did. I'm out.
Yeah. I really appreciate that about Joplin Financial, that you sit down with your team and you have those weekly meetings. You talk about things in the market that are changing. You talk about ways that you could be a better realtor. And I really appreciate that because that helps. I guess, I mean, not to say spread the wealth, but spread the wealth. Like you're spreading the knowledge, you're using your expertise to help other people so that it's not just you, it's your team and it's your business and it's growing and it's not just you're getting the referrals from mom, dad, grandma, pappy.
Yeah, pappy. Those are good though. You should have those. Those are what's going to get you some seed capital to actually run and do your thing and get the database that you want and be able to drip on email and text and do what you need to do to market because branding and marketing are pretty much everything. What do you think we're doing here?
This is a whole plug for Joplin Financial. Sponsored by.
Sponsored by.
Oh gosh. Okay. Last would you rather before last one before we get into the first Reddit story, which I mean, all the Reddit stories I found, I was like, I had to stop after 3 because I was like, I can't have this whole conversation just being like, people are this wild. I'm sure you have wild stories.
Oh, yeah.
Would you rather have a home with an incredible view but no privacy or a home with complete privacy and no view?
Glass house, brick house.
Yes.
That's okay, so I've done this.
I mean, reflective tint is a thing now, people. I just bought some on Amazon. You can have a house that's glass and just shade that bitch. Am I allowed to cuss on this show?
Sure can.
Okay.
Son of a bitch.
Dick.
Well, yes, I am. So the difference is the glass house with no privacy versus the brick house. Mm-hmm. I would rather, well, that depends.
One has character. Remember that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's true.
A guest house for people to come visit you.
That's it. So question, do I look like myself now or is it me with a six-pack?
I see where you're going with this question, and I'm afraid to answer. Because I'm assuming the no privacy house is you with just shredded abs.
Shredded abs.
Yeah.
Shredded abs, glass house.
Yeah. First Reddit story. Are you ready to take this ride?
Uh-oh.
I talked to a friend that was a real estate agent. We were talking and he got a call from a guy. He asked a few questions, asked what street he lived on and his name. The guy answered, and then my friend said, I'm not interested in representing you and neither is anyone else in this town that knows you. Don't call again, and hung up. I said to my friend, well, that's not a good way to get business. He replied, this guy is known by every agent in town. He puts his house on the market but won't sell it. It is just some weird hobby he has. He has never even been offered more than his asking price and he won't sell. He has even been offered more than his asking price and he won't sell. He's a pain in the ass. So is this a real thing that happens in the realtor community? People talk.
I got a fucking story.
Okay, go for it.
I'm so excited to tell this story. I haven't told the story to anybody. It's so exciting.
Oh, wait, one second. Let's get the tea and real tea. Go.
Ooh, that's definitely not tea. Funny story is I had a commercial building. So the commercial building, it was a restaurant down in Chula Vista. So I had this guy, and he was super adamant about getting his property sold, and I was pretty stoked about it. And then I got the listing on it, and not within 24 hours, once I got the listing signed, I started marketing right away, right? Before you put the signs up, you call your broker friends, and you go, hey, I got the deal. Who do you got? Mm-hmm. It's the standard. It's how fast it goes. I had probably 5 or 6 voicemails out, and I had my first phone call back within like 15 minutes. Nice. And I'm like, dude, I got this property sold. It's no problem. The guy calls me. He's like, do you know who this fucking guy is? I'm like, no.
I think you're about to tell me.
I was like, oh, no, what do you mean? He's like, are you talking about, I'm not, no names. But he's like, are you talking about so-and-so? I was like, how the fuck do you know who this is? He's like, yeah, you're talking about this property at this address. And I didn't put any information on the voicemail. I just said property, restaurant.
Oh, no.
I know, super vague about it, trying to get some interest back. So I got a call back. And this guy over at Flock and Avoyer. And he was like, dude, we have tried to get this guy to sell, and it turns out that he doesn't even own it. It's like his family's property, and he's trying to, get his brothers out of the deal, and he's a liar, and he's going to send you all this crap, and it was just fraud everywhere. The property's in litigation. There's lis pendens filed against the property. I was like, what? I feel like I was walking into a tornado.
Right.
Like, what is happening?
Oh my God.
I was like, so do you want it?
Wait. But I'm still trying to make money. Do you actually want this? We don't know. We don't have to talk about the fraud part, but I mean.
But all kidding aside, I was like, are you kidding me? He's like, you do me a favor, call a few other people, and it's bad. It's bad fraud on this property. A lot of litigation on this deal. If I were you, I would step away from this thing. So I got this. I made the calls. I was good to go. I was like, you know what? I'm going to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. So I called the guy who was listing with, and he was like, no, it's not true. I'll send you all the docs. He sent me all the docs. I was like, all right, it's fine. So I left for Vegas to go to a conference. That was on a Tuesday. On Wednesday, I got callbacks from 3 other people I'd left voicemails for.
Oh, no.
Same fucking
Oh,
story.
no.
They didn't even know each other. Just same other broker's story, and they were all identical. And I went, I gotta drop this.
Yeah.
So I'm in the middle of the Bellagio Petrosian Lounge in the lobby.
Wow, way to
right
name
there.
drop your
No.
tax bracket, bro.
I'm just letting you guys know. If you want a nice martini with a caviar cigar, go there. I hope I didn't out, because it's delicious and it's a great deal. Don't blow it for me, please.
I mean, I love the Bellagio.
love
I'm not going to lie. I started Cody too high during 2020 when Vegas was just begging people to come. We stayed at the Bellagio for free on a number of occasions because they did not have any business and no one was there.
Right.
And then since then, he's like, I can't stay anywhere else. We're going to stay at the Excalibur. What are you trying to do to me? This is husband abuse. Anyway, continue.
No, I'm wrapping it up at the end. So I'm sitting there in the Petrosian Lounge with the phone glued to my ear, my 5th martini down. It's like 11 a.m. and I'm just like, why this happened? So I ended up calling the seller, and I said, there is no way that this is true, right? And he lays it all out, and he's like, he laid it all out for me. He laid the exact story out, and I was like, you're officially fired. You expect my email in 5 minutes.
God.
So we terminated the listing right then and there. The property is still trying to be sold.
Oh my God. Off of fraud.
I'm not trying to get super into it, but it was between the owners, and there was fraud happening, and one sued the other, and there you go.
So it is pretty common in the realty sphere, or at least common enough that if there's one person that just is terrible, that realtors, brokers talk to each other.
Yeah.
Don't have a reputation.
Well,
That's what I'm hearing from this conversation.
it happens a lot in commercial, because residential, it's you buy, sell every 5, 6, 7 years or whatever it is, maybe 10. In commercial, if you're a big developer, a big player, you get deals.
Right.
So you better not suck.
Oh my gosh, that's wild to think about it from that perspective. That it's nice to know that y'all are looking out for each other, though.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, very
I read that
Sharpie.
one wrong.
No, it's not it's just that, like, hey, just letting you know, like, just FYI, that guy's gonna screw you. Like, have a nice life.
But you would do the same for another. You would.
Yeah.
You would reach out. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's good to know.
Yeah, it's good.
Somewhat of a nice group of people.
Yeah, so commercial's a little more sharky than residential.
Okay.
Residential is all about let's get together, we're gonna collaborate and communicate and
Find a character-filled house.
find a character-filled house
It's probably going to be the second one I show you.
in Spain.
Oh, God. All right. Well, that was a good one. Now we're going to go back to Would You Rather.
Oh my God, let's go.
I know. I love it. Would you rather only represent buyers in their search for the perfect home, or only represent sellers to get the best price?
Buyers, final answer.
I didn't even finish.
Buyers, final answer. I don't even need to.
Why?
This NAR settlement. It's the new buyer's compensation agreement and representation agreement. Buyers can make more money than the listing agents, buyer's agents. That's a secret sauce.
I feel like my brain just farted. What?
Okay, so how it's always gone in real estate is the listing agent takes a listing agreement,
Yes.
and then is authorized to share their compensation with the buyer's agent.
Okay.
That compensation has always been posted on the multiple listing service,
Right.
as what's called unilateral offer of compensation.
Okay.
That means one-sided offer of compensation to the other. It's not the seller. The seller is the seller's paying the listing agent. Say it's 5%.
Yeah.
Then that listing agent turns around and says, "I'm going to offer 2.5%
Of the 5%.
right."
Got it.
So you usually split it. Some listing agents will keep more for themselves or whatever. That's posted in the multiple listing service. The NAR settlement turns around and says, "You can't post that unilateral offer of compensation. We want the MLS out of this." Not getting in the weeds on that, it's going to help the buyers to say, okay, buyers' agents are going to get compensation agreement from the buyers themselves.
Right.
Okay, how it reads now after all the revisions is the buyer's agent is entitled to that compensation, and that compensation is reduced if any or all third parties pay that into that compensation. What I mean by that is if I go and I sign a 3% compensation agreement with the buyer,
As the buyer's agent.
as the buyer's agent, the listing agent offers me 2.5. That 2.5 reduces that 3. So now I have a 0.5 point compensation that I can grab from anything from closing costs to external fees to the buyer writing a check. Lender credits, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
You can use
right.
other fees rolled into the loan or whatever
Yeah.
to compensate you. The point I'm trying to make is any and all third parties. Okay, and that's a big secret sauce thing that we're kind of doing in structuring our deals. So if you want to learn how to structure deals with the compensation agreement, how to present this to the buyers, and ultimately how to write offers, I have 2 ways that we can do it, 2 different strategies we can do it. So that's my little shameless plug for that.
Shameless plug, Joplin Financial. This thing is sponsored by Joplin Financial, and it's amazing. And go. I'm such a good marketer.
I love it.
I know. Okay.
But that's why, because I find that we're going to make more money on buyers. In addition to that, I can also do their loan. So if I'm representing the
That's
buyer,
true,
I can
yeah.
do their loan and make another 1.5 to 2%.
That's another shameless plug.
Plug number 2.
Plug number 2. Well, I guess plug number 3, because we did do one in the beginning.
That's a fair point, Don.
Yeah, 3. I can count. I'm not just a one-trick pony. So, okay, if we were to take that out of consideration, is there anything about being a buyer's agent versus a seller's agent that you like more or less from each? Like, is dealing
Sure.
with the person specifically any part of swaying in your decision?
The people, people are mostly the same.
That's true.
The buyers are in complete control of the transaction.
Okay.
So if you make an offer, the seller accepts the offer, the seller side is obligated pretty much the whole way. Because they've accepted they've bound themselves, right?
Yeah.
So now it's the buyer's opportunity to run through due diligence and get their inspections and do all the things they need to do before they remove contingencies. So they are in complete control of that transaction.
Yeah, I want to agree wholeheartedly. However, I had a terrible experience with a seller, Cody and I did, when we were first buying the condo. We found a condo in like the same area as my sister. It was a complete and utter fixer-upper. But it was in a central part of Escondido. It was right next to her. It was super close to work for both of us. But you walk in there and there was a Skittle stuck to the carpet of the stairs. There was no carpet anywhere else in the house except directly on the stairs. And then there was a deflated balloon in the first guest room. That's not like, oh my God, the house is ruined, there's a deflated balloon. It was more of just like, did someone just like up and leave? And we hadn't gotten engaged by that time, and it was a heart balloon. And Cody's like, welcome to your proposal. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. It was just the saddest deflated heart balloon. I have a picture of him standing next to it, just like, it was hilarious. Anyway, you go upstairs, the floor is warped, the tile in the kitchen destroyed, like someone took a hammer to it, destroyed it. This lady wanted $400,000 for that house.
Perfect.
For the condo, 2-story. I think it was like 3-bedroom, and there was holes in the house. Like someone just went through and just started punching holes. I was like, someone with anger management issues lived in this house, clear as day. Anyway,
Sidebar.
we get into the whole agreement. We are in contract with this person, and it's apparently a super old lady. Her friend is helping her out as the agent.
Oh, see, I told you.
It's always that way. And we were like, okay, we did the inspection, and I think we had found some termites, and then we found that the water heater and the HVAC, it was the HVAC machine, hadn't been in compliancy since like 2020. Like it was dead. And we were like, okay, we need you to replace the HVAC because you should have one of those. And it was almost like writing the line of legality of like, you can't not have it. She was like, oh, I'm not replacing that. You have to replace it. And so we talked to the condo complex, and they're like, yeah, we made a deal with the entire condo complex that we would fix all the HVACs at a reduced rate for every single person who lived here. And she denied it. And we told her multiple times that if you don't do it on your own in this amount of time, it's getting shut off because it wouldn't be in compliance. And she refused to do it. And she kept asking us to pay for certain things. She wanted us to pay for the HVAC. She wanted us to pay to fix the floor. She wanted us to pay to do this. And we're like, we're not putting a cent into this house until we own it. What are you talking about?
So did you ask for credits?
We did. We had asked for credits. We're like, we'll do it, but we need to be, you got to give us something back.
Like
and she,
40 grand.
Yeah, she refused. And then
Stick it.
she ended up being like, I don't want to sell this house to you. And we're like, tough tits. You signed a contract. You legally have to sell it to us because we agreed on the price.
Yeah, she's bound.
Yeah. She bought us out of the contract because she didn't want to sell to us anymore because we wouldn't pay for any upgrades in her house before we owned it.
I have a lot of questions, but I'm going to let it go.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions, but
it was so confusing, but it was like we agreed on $5,000. We get to the bank, the agent's there, and he was like, here's $3,000. And we're like, this, at least we're making $3,000, I guess, on a headache. But yay, we spent a month of our life and made $3,000. What an investment.
R.O. and I.
Yeah, together at last. But yeah, that's my view on the whole, like, oh, the buyers have all the powers. Apparently not. That seller she was crazy. She did end up selling to some old sap some other time after that. We kept tabs on it because I was like, who is paying that price?
Right.
Honestly, because there was another condo in that complex that was being sold at the same price and it was completely redone.
Got it.
She refused to budge on her price because she thought it was worth that much. Not for that dusty skittle on the staircase. Anyway.
Are you referring to the skittle or to her? Okay.
Yes.
Oh. Yep.
Would you rather invest in a high-risk, high-reward real estate market or a stable, low-reward one?
Oh, what? Oh, God, Jesus. Lord Jesus, there's a fire. Okay, so.
I'm asking the tough questions here.
Yeah, this is a tough one. So, couple things. Like me personally today, or like what are we talking about? Like me
that's a tough
personally
one.
today?
I feel like you personally today would be the low reward, but I don't know. I feel like it could go either way for you because I feel like young job would just be like gas pedal floor, let's go.
Okay, if you guys don't know, I have two things that I'm a degenerate with. It's alcohol and gambling. The betting on, I got this investment to make, I'll give you $10,000 to make $100,000. That has always been like, ooh, man, I'm like,
that's tempting.
Really tempting on it. So what I've had to do recently in the last couple of years is just shift, because you're right, young job would be like, let's fucking go, right? I can make more money.
Yeah.
Now it's more, we have the wife and the daughter and the whole thing. So now it's like, okay, well, what are we gonna do to like make sure she's safe, she's good, So I would rather have stable returns. I don't even care if they're low, as long as they're stable.
Yeah.
Because then you can make more money on top of that.
Yeah, and stability in this economy.
In this economy,
absolutely does not exist anymore. It seems like
playoffs. You talking about playoffs?
Stability in this economy.
No, it's okay.
Okay,
I
is it
hope
a
somebody
quote?
gets that.
Okay. Well, it's not me.
Comment if you get that.
Engagement plug. Good job. I'm so proud of you. All right. Would you rather work in a large, well-known real estate firm? I feel like I already know the answer for this one because we're living it right now. Would you rather work in a large, well-known real estate firm with ample resources and support, or in a small boutique firm with more flexibility and personal connections? And why is it the latter? Joplin Financial.
Okay. So spite's a big thing in my life.
Ooh, samesies.
Yeah, spite's
That's why
a big
you let me pick my marketing title.
I sure did. It's fun. So I actually met my wife and you and
my
your
God.
husband.
Me?
Uh-huh.
I was there?
Through spite.
Oh, that's right. I love this story. Continue.
Yeah. So it was the girlfriend I had right before this. It didn't work out, and she broke up with me on a Monday in August.
On a Monday in August, okay? Continue.
Jesus. It's okay. I probably deserved it at some point. So anyways, broke up on a Monday, and I was over it. And I was like, you know what? She used to love to go dancing and in cahoots. And I was like, I fucking never liked it. I never danced. I went and I drank, and that was it. So out of just sheer spite, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go there. gonna go there and dance.
Yeah.
And I went like probably four or
And
five.
damn, did he?
And yeah, 4 or 5 times I would go, and every time I'd have a great fucking time. Even
So what I'm hearing is she was right.
she was totally right. She was so right. I'm almost gonna throw up. She was so right. So it got so bad that I got an apartment 100 yards away from In Cahoots.
Oh, did you now?
Just so I could walk there.
I had no idea.
6 nights a week later.
And dropping my future husband off at your place a number of times to just sleep it off. Who knew?
That's where we all met. So I thought, Spite ended up getting me the best shit I could possibly have for the rest of my life. So I'm pretty stoked on that.
Yeah.
Same thing, because when I was in college, I had this vision of what I wanted to do. I was going to go into finance, and my path was not real estate at all. It was going to be finance, economics, probably something in accounting or something to that level, and then I was going to probably own the family business, do that. So my dad had my password to log in for my what's called Red ID for San Diego State. He logged in and he declared my major for me my sophomore year.
Oh my, wait, without you knowing?
I didn't know until I tried to register for classes.
Oh.
And they're like, oh, you declared.
Oh my God. I mean, I'm going to be honest. Dedication, because I don't think my dad would have been able to, 1, know what that was,
Yep.
or 2, figure out how to do it. So, claps.
He went in, he picked the major, and I couldn't, once you declare, it's over. Like I can't.
I mean, you can. Can you not?
It would, well, at that moment,
Oh, that's true.
because
Yeah.
it would have cost me. It would have cost me a whole semester at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, no, I'm in 4 years. I'm out in 4 years.
Right.
There is no. I'm not I'm not doing the 5-year plan. So, so after that, I ended up finishing. In real estate, I took finance classes through real estate. So I still got to do finance, but I did it through the lens of real estate, which is actually pretty interesting.
That is, yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. And then when I graduated, my dad said, great, hey, now get your broker's license, because I could do education in lieu of experience and go skip the salesperson, go right for the broker. So I did. I did the crash course. I sat for it. I did the 3 classes in addition to what I had. So I was like over-prepared kind of. I walked in, I passed it the first time, and my dad said, great, I'm going to use your license to make money. And that...
Interesting.
Yeah, so he was doing... office leasing. So him himself, he owned the business.
Right.
And what he would do is that he would take the listing guy's commission
Yeah.
and give it to me, and but turn around and pay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So you're getting credit for these transactions.
I am, but I'm not getting any money.
Right.
So I looked at that and I said, well, what about residential? And he said, bah, that's famous. Bah, that's bullshit. It's all fake. You don't want that. It's very, very Trumpy of him. So, and I
love it.
No, that's not a knock. It's literally kind of how he talked. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I kind of got this built of like resentment.
Yeah.
And the resentment was like, you know what? I'm going to start my own. Mm-hmm. And I sure did. I started my own LLC and I started doing residential transactions.
It's called Joplin Financial.
It is. It is. Shameless plug 4.
4.
There it is.
Maybe 5. I don't know.
Yep.
4.5.
It started something else. We changed the name, but at the end of the day, like that's was the catalyst to create my separate real estate company, and that we have multiple agents, loan officers.
Yeah. You just accepted one new agent recently.
Sure did.
Growing so fast.
Yeah.
You even created a whole new job role for little old me. So safe to say, small boutique firm is the preferred versus the large, well-known real estate firm?
I think so.
Yeah. Have you worked with people or like discussed with people about what the large firms?
I did actually have a point where I left my own company to join somebody else, 2 other big ones actually, to see what was out there, because I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
And that was hard because I didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. I didn't have someone to coach me or mentor me or anything like that. So to spend 6 years fumbling around,
That's true.
big waste of time.
Yeah.
So
there is a perk of the large firm. You have resources of people to talk to gain clarity, to gain more knowledge and stuff like that.
when you're starting out, for sure.
Right.
But once you kind of get the blueprint for it, you can run. So I did it backwards. I got my ass beat, and I probably blew 40 transactions, blew them up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, I could have made a lot more money. I just didn't know. Didn't know what contracts to use, anything like that. So I joined HomeSmart. I thought that was a really great year and a half of my life. And I got recruited over to EXP. That lasted about 6 months. And, but I got the tools I needed to.
Right.
And then I met this guy, Johnny, at a listing when I was working at EXP. And he was like, let's partner up. And I said, you got it. So now
Right
we're there.
on. Yeah, that's the same Johnny that's down at the Bonita location.
Investment Realty Homes and Loans. So that's the brokerage
Yeah.
itself.
Yes. And then Job and Financial is the real estate.
Job and Financial is separate from the brokerage firm.
Right.
That's where we do investing consulting and we partner on deals.
Would you rather buy a fixer-upper and customize it to your liking, or buy a move-in ready home that maybe isn't exactly what you want?
Move-in ready, period.
Why?
Because there is so much that I have to do outside of the house that when I get home, I don't want to do shit.
That's fair. I feel like the romantic side of buying real estate is you always want to make it your. Oh, you want to. Yeah. Hello.
Marco.
You want to make it your own. This is what happens when I try and hand gesture too wildly. I feel like everyone goes into real estate thinking, I'm going to make this house a home.
Wow. Yeah. See,
Live, laugh, love.
do you see that's why I don't like residential real estate?
I get it now.
Okay, you get it now?
I'm speaking it, and it's,
Are you feeling the spite?
yeah,
Okay.
I hate myself,
The self-loathing's part of the job.
honestly. Because, yeah, like going back to that condo in Escondido where it was a fixer-upper, but we would have been able to put our own flair on it. I would have been able to put down my nice bamboo flooring. I would have been able to paint the way I wanted to, get rid of the stupid carpet that's just on the stairs, fix all the holes in the walls. But then, you see a move-in ready house, and you're like, I don't have to do anything. I love not working.
You guys ready for secret time?
Putting the tea in realty. Continue. You can't do that one. Go.
Sorry. So the super secret time. If you walk into a house that's completely done and it's staged, ask if the furniture's for sale.
Fair.
That was one of the biggest things that people don't understand is that when my beautiful wife and I, we bought our house back in 2016, we walked in.
Has it really been that long?
Tell me about it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 8 years.
I love that house.
I know. July 25th or 15th. I can't remember. It's something
Nice.
25. Anyway, any user. So we rolled in there, and the lady, the other agent who was selling it, she was she was super nice. And she told me that that owner, that flipper, works at West Elm. So West Elm is that really nice furniture. I think it's in Mission Valley or whatever it is. But,
Yeah.
But they have really nice furniture. And she took the West Elm furniture and staged the house with it. And I'm like, how much is this fucking furniture? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
That chair right there, $400.
that's what it was. They're like, it was like $450. The rug was $1,000.
Oh my! What rug? Did it come with a vacuum at least?
Honey, I didn't buy any of the furniture, but I'm just letting you know. Like,
Spoiler alert! Dang it!
okay, but just letting you know, like furniture can be for sale. You can buy
Yeah.
whatever's in there. Also, if there's a hot tub in the back, I've always thrown hot tubs in deals. So there's so many things that you can work into a real estate transaction that's personal property.
Yeah,
And if
to increase the value.
to increase your benefit to that
Right.
offer.
Yeah.
Or there's really good ones if there's a bunch of junk and they're like, fuck, I got to take this junk out. It's going to cost me $5,000. I don't have the $5,000. You say, I'll take the junk. You just credit me the $5,000. And they're like, cool.
In the deal.
In the deal. You just work the personal property in the deal. And I've gotten lots of deals on terms too.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is one of your most memorable got the deal because of, like the junk removal stuff? Do you have a story that has to do with that? Like, what have you worked into the deal that you're just like, yeah, I'm super proud of that one?
My biggest role of personal into.
No, I'm asking the hard-hitting questions. here.
No, it's this. I almost don't even want to talk about him. He's just a piece of shit. So I had the seller in El Cajon. His name was Rick.
And you were being his agent
I was
as the seller's
listing
agent.
agent. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Husband and wife. The wife is really sweet. Yeah, what a guy. So he had pretty much a huge lot in El Cajon, single family house. There was a lot of stuff going wrong with the house. There was a lot of stuff that was, not up to code. The roof was tough. And he had he built an entire 2-story barn, like a metal barn, but it was for his cars, and he would like build and tear apart RVs and cars and side-by-sides and race in the desert, and he was like a car guy. So that, and then he also bought and sold turf, like rolled up turf, and the septic tank was blown, the leach fields were terrible, and this was like the worst listing I ever had my whole life. I'd throw up just talking about it. So what we did was we put on the market, and we had this offer. Really nice agent. She came in and she just, was like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to buy it like this. And I said, we're going to try to move all the stuff out. Right. And at that price that we negotiated. And as it gets closer towards the deadline, there's not stuff moving out.
Oh, no.
There's a bunch of, when I say junkyard is an understatement of a lifetime.
Yep.
So there was so much junk in there that we just needed to get the deal closed, get the cash, and then, husband and wife were going to split, and then he was going to move to North Carolina, whatever he was going to do. So at that juncture, we were like, we just got to figure this out.
Yeah.
So we had to get the price negotiated, get the terms negotiated, get what we needed to, and have them kind of take what they needed to and junk it after that. And it was not small. It wasn't like a garbage bag.
Oh, no.
Or 10.
It was like 3 or 4.
It was like a few dumpsters.
Yeah.
Like 5. Those big 50-foot dumpsters?
Oh, yeah.
Like 5 of those. So that was my biggest roll in.
Oh, my God.
I guess if you want to think biggest, but my most memorable roll in was like leases. You know what I mean? You sell property with leases, and the leases come with it, but you release them to like 5 or 6 years. Those are cool too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Good job. All right. Last, would you rather? Would you rather handle, last one before we get to another Reddit section. Yay. Would you rather handle high-end properties in a major metropolitan area like downtown San Diego or LA, or charming suburban homes in, say, North County, East County, or even like the Temecula area?
It's a great question, actually. So is the volume the same?
Let's say yes.
Okay.
Let's make it equal except the location.
Okay, if the volume's the same, you're going to receive probably less volume is the same. You're going to get less on the suburban.
Yeah.
Right? So money-wise, you're going to want to go with the high-end, the luxury properties. It's always fun to show properties. It's always fun to do open houses and stuff that's nice.
Yeah.
What's not fun is opening a house on Saturday in the middle of East County when it's hot and there's no AC.
Yep.
So.
And you're just like begging people like, come to East County, please.
There's a lot of people that move to East County.
I like East County.
I'm not knocking it, but what I'm saying is the cookout
is going to get a little toasty.
Gets a little toasty.
Just a smidge. I mean, even Temecula, we're getting to like 105 right now.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Out there. It's really great. It's like, if it's going to be this hot, I just want to be in Vegas. Mm-hmm. I had an interesting conversation with someone that was like, do you like the heat? I was like, I like situational heat. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, there is a stark difference between 105 when you're at your house, you're paying for the AC, you're going to work, your car is just disgustingly hot, and then compare it to, I'm in Vegas.
At a pool party.
I'm at a pool party.
Yeah.
I don't pay for this fucking AC. It's going to be at 65 if I like it to be at 65. And you walk out in the heat and you're like, vacation. You can't do that at home. You walk out there, you're like, this has ruined my day. I can't have hot coffee. I have to get iced. It's going to be watered down. It spirals. Clearly, this is a sore subject for me.
Iced coffee.
I know.
I love iced
coffee. Put
me
out of my misery.
I love iced coffee.
I do too. I shouldn't complain. But I mean, some people just freaking hate iced coffee.
It's fair.
Okay. My favorite client story as a lender was the guy who named all his kids after himself. The buyer's name was John Doe. He couldn't qualify on his own, so he wanted to add his son, John A. Doe, to the loan as a co-signer. Yes, you know where this is going. Well, John A. Doe had shit credit, so that didn't work. I talked to the buyer, the OG John Doe, again to deliver the bad news, and he says, well, let's try my son, John Doe. I asked, didn't we just try adding your son, John? He says, no, that was John A. Doe. This will be John B. Doe.
You're fucking around.
I ask him, John, how many sons named John do you have? He says 6.
Yeah, what in the Alabama are we talking about?
Do you want to know something crazy? They are from Alabama.
I've been doing this long enough.
So he says 6. There's John A. Doe, John B. Doe, John C. Doe, John D. Doe, John E. Doe, and John F. Doe.
To be honest, John C. Doe.
John C. Doe.
John C. Doe.
My man had 6 sons and named them all after himself with only their middle names being different. None of his sons qualified.
What in the Alabama am I listening to? Okay.
So, when picking a co-signer, who would an ideal candidate be?
Great. Anybody that doesn't suck.
Anyone who doesn't have shit credit.
Yeah.
Ask before they go through a credit application, people. Oh my God.
So you're looking for somebody. You're looking for somebody who probably has no debt, little to no debt, because the debt's going to stack.
Okay. Follow-up question to the debt.
Yeah.
If you have debt, but your debt capacity is large, does that kind of...
That's perfect.
Okay, so we're talking percentage of debt then.
Well, what you're looking for is a overall DTI. So what you're doing is you're taking your payments versus your income.
Gotcha.
So it doesn't matter if you have a $500 a month payment and you have a $500,000 limit. We're going to count the 500 against you for the payment.
Gotcha.
So if you got a guy that makes 10 grand a month and you got another person you stack on that makes 5 grand a month, but that 5 grand a month person has 4 grand worth of debt,
Yeah.
or more, like it's like a month, something ridiculous, something very high. That doesn't really happen to those numbers. I'm using it as an example. I had fun story. Mm-hmm. Here it comes.
Oh no, he's taking a sip. He's gathering his spirits.
So this was my first loan deal I tried to do after 11 years of experience. It was a house, and the seller of the house, 2 sellers, wanted to sell to their friend. The friend could not qualify by himself. Mm-hmm. And I said, no problem. He says, I'm going to put my sister on. I said, no problem. I said to the sister, do you have any big expenses? She goes, nope, I own a restaurant. We're all good. Here's my tax returns, the whole bit. And then we pull her credit, and there's a car loan on there. And I said, honey, why is your car loan say you pay $2,000 a month for this car?
Oh my God.
Well, when it's a $200,000 Porsche.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. So she couldn't end up qualifying even with him because her debts were so large.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So she has some money, and then she tried to add her dad. And I said, are you sure? Because he's got income, the whole thing. Add the dad. Dad's got more debt than income.
Oh my God.
So I had to, long story short, I had to drop the lender that we were with, resubmit with somebody else, drop everybody else, because it went from the friend to his sister and his sister joint, and then the dad joint, and then we had to add somebody else. So I had 4 people in this deal. They just barely qualified with everybody, and we had to still pay off the sister's debts. Okay, let me tell you this, Donna. This is my first loan deal as a mortgage broker. Recently.
You're starting off strong.
Very recently. I mean, it was, but the real estate was so good.
Yeah.
The real estate was so good that they were like, yeah, we got to buy this. And I said, I will move heaven and earth physically to make this deal happen. Mm-hmm. And I committed to the seller, committed to the buyer, and I lost sleep. I lost a lot of sleep. I was waking up at night. I was like, I've never been driven to the point of like tears of stress, but it was close. I mean, I really gave a shit about these people. Mm-hmm. And I finally got it to a lender that would take that like razor thin at the margin debt to income. I got letters for explanation of credit. I got all the shit, right? Not getting too in the weeds on this. And I said, her name was Linda. I said, Linda, listen.
Please tell me you said it exactly like that.
I fucking did. It was amazing. I said,
and then let me guess.
She was definitely Asian too. That's what made it really bad. Sorry, everybody.
So,
she thought it was funny, but
I would think it was funny.
no, she thought it was funny.
Everyone would think.
And I
that's
said,
funny.
Linda, listen very,
Listen.
very carefully.
Listen.
I said, we're gonna pay off like 6 of your credit cards through this whole thing, and she can take that like 60 grand or whatever it was and pay her debt off, and then still have enough for down payment. We had all of it together. We literally were clear to close. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that phrase, but that's like when you hear the word clear to close, everyone's opening champagne because you're not closed, but the lender is ready. They're ready to go. They actually pre-funded the deal. So the lender funded the deal into escrow. They're ready to go. The title company, not escrow. Escrow doesn't receive money anymore. And at signing day, everyone was supposed to go. The buyers were all supposed to go sign the documents, get them notarized at the escrow office, and they no-showed. And I went, Linda, you missed your appointment. Well, I need all 4 of you guys there. She says, I'm not going to buy the house.
Oh,
I'm
my
going to
God.
take the money and invest in this new restaurant.
Oh my God. Did she realize that you can't do that?
She did. Yep.
How?
Oh, she just said, I'm not going to give you the money.
And that was it?
Yeah, that was
no
it.
one went to court for that?
Oh, there was a lot of stuff. I'm not getting into all that crap.
Oh my God.
There was a lot of bad blood because remember the seller and the buyer were friends.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Rule number 1. It's tough to do business. I didn't say don't. I said it's tough to do business with people you know.
Yes.
Number 2. If you're going to do business with somebody you know, don't fuck them.
Yeah.
Don't fuck 'em.
Actually, just don't fuck anybody. Well, I mean, situational.
No, you're right. You're right. But at the end of the day, like
That's your friend.
You would. I mean, and then I was so deflated. So we ended up selling the property to somebody else. It was okay. We got the deal done. But I still think of that, and I still remember spending 90 days on a loan that would have probably cost us, cost. It would have been a 30-day quick and dirty,
Yeah.
30-day deal. Took 90 days, and all those 90 days I was stressing. We were in a trip. It was actually the end of the year in Big Bear with my wife's family, and I was on the phone for like 4 or 5 hours a day, just on the phone constantly
Oh
trying
my
to do this
gosh.
deal. It's not worth the headache. So any advice I'm spewing is it's great to learn by experience. Just kidding. If somebody tells you, I've done this before and this sucks, don't do this, just take the fucking advice. You know what I mean?
Don't try and be the bigger person and think like, I can do it.
Yeah, sure can.
I can change him.
Yeah, I can change him. Famous last words.
You never can. Okay. Would you rather live in a bustling city with endless amenities but high living costs or a quiet rural area with fewer amenities and lower costs?
Bustle me, baby.
Bustle?
Bustle me, baby.
Dude, I'm in. Put me in the low cost. I'll make money on affiliate links. I don't give a shit. I will make my money on the internet, not in a dirty way. That sounded so dirty.
I had to side eye for the OnlyFans link. Shameless plug 5.
Listen, it's not my OnlyFans. It's Cody's Feet Finder. He's got some cute ass feet.
That is a sentence I was not expecting to hear on today's.
I mean, he doesn't.
Okay.
But he did.
Oh, no.
Hey, in this economy, listen, swallow.
Phrasing.
My phrasing and comedic timing was perfect. Thank you for being concerned, though. Would you rather have a steady stream of clients from referrals and repeat business or constantly seek out new clients through marketing and lead generation?
Okay, anybody who says that they don't want the referral business is smoking crack.
Mm-hmm. And this was an interesting take because I know we are going to be doing a lot of marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, that's why I'm here. Mm-hmm. And lead generation. So it is a nice dynamic to see where would you rather?
Okay, let me make sure that everybody understands this. It's not that, okay.
It's not one is better than the other.
Well, they're kind of the same.
Yeah.
And people are not realizing that
If you got one from marketing and lead generation, that could easily turn into referrals and repeat business.
But the fact is that you have to still market to the repeat business.
That's true.
You can't just sit there and expect them to remember
come back to you.
There are so many times where really family members or other people that I've known have used other agents and friends too. And
I am one of those people.
It's my fault.
Yeah.
Because I didn't reach out to you
all
the time.
Yes, it is your fault. Thank you.
Oh, for fuck's sake. But it's the agent's fault for not going out and number one, telling them that what you do.
Yeah.
People just don't say what they do.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I think Cody and I ended up finding our real estate agent because we thought you were doing something else.
Right.
We thought you were doing debt collecting at that point.
Well, I still am, and I was.
Yeah. So it was like, oh, we don't want to bother Joplin.
And that's the problem that I had for so many years.
Yeah.
Is that we're not expressing that we're in that market, that we're doing that.
Like, I'm busy, but I'm not that busy that I can't help you guys out.
No, and at the end of the day, like it's all good. Like we're good.
Yeah.
But to let everybody know what you do and to make sure you market to those people again, because those people that you've done transactions with, we're going to refer you. And if you did a good job, you did right by them, and you just go say hi to them.
Yeah.
Like I had this really, really nice neighbor / client. I mean, really, really good. Right. So it was a referral from somebody else, right? So it was a referral from somebody else. She was like, oh yeah, we're moving to Hemet. That was fun. It was her and her husband. I'm not going to go crazy on the story, but we moved to Hemet. They bought the house, crushed the deal. That's probably another good deal because the sellers of that deal, okay, I'm going to get a little in the weeds on this.
Listen, I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it.
Okay, but this transaction was really good. And this actually, I'm glad we were talking about this because this is one of those deals that brought other things onto the table that got us the deal.
Yeah.
So they had 15 offers in this house in Hemet, beautiful with a pool, 5-bed, 4-bath. It was like $500,000 or something, $400,000, something ridiculous. And we talked to the sellers. I talked physically to the sellers, and I was like, hey, by the way, what moves the needle for you guys? And they're like, oh, we need to move we were buying our house somewhere else, but we need to rent somewhere for 30 days, and it's really bothering us.
Right, yeah.
So I said, no problem. Number one, I got a VA buyer. That's this client, VA buyer. We're going to move them in, but we're going to give you guys 30 days, the 30 days you would only rent somewhere else.
Yeah, in the house.
Just rent the house.
Yeah.
No other buyer's agent decided to ask the listing agent, seriously, what moves the needle?
Oh my gosh.
I gave them 30 days. I was probably the 4th highest offer, and they took ours because they were VA.
Yeah.
And we gave them 30 days for free.
Is that not a lot of people know that they can do the rent backs?
The problem was not the rent backs. The problem was that the buyer's agent didn't ask the listing agent. They didn't communicate. Any hooser. So they ended up buying the property. They ended up selling that property later with the daughter, so that sold the property probably a year and a half later. And now that same person referred me to a third person. So now I've got 1, 2, 3 deals out of it.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing one, which is back here. So actually, if you think about the first client, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 deals. So growing that network and just making sure that you're top of mind.
Top notch.
Nice.
Would you rather have a home with a state-of-the-art kitchen but only one bathroom, or a home with multiple bathrooms and an outdated kitchen?
Listen to me very carefully. I shit everywhere.
Hopefully not in the kitchen.
So the reason that we have 3 bathrooms is because there's one designated bathroom for old me.
Okay.
Then we have Lily's bathroom, right? The daughter. And then I got my wife's bathroom, which is the master bathroom. Right. So nothing in the master bathroom is except for all of her like makeup stuff and all her stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then the middle bathroom is Lily's bathroom with all her like bath toys and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And then the other bathroom is filled with Lily's toys and bath stuff for her and just a toilet for me. So that's the extent of my house layout.
Okay, so definitely the more bathrooms for you.
Yeah, gotta have.
I was going to be. This was a toss up because bathrooms are essential, but you are a master in the kitchen. You like the layout and the creation of it all. So I was like, that one's going to be an either or. I can't see where that one's going to go.
But
Nice to know you like to poop, though.
that's it. Because if you give me a good knife and a cutting board, I can fucking make it happen. I made
Yeah.
it happen on really shitty surfaces like electric.
Literally, I'm gonna show my my upbringing here a little bit. When we bought the condo in Escondido, the one we ended up buying, there was an electric stove,
Ew.
and I walked in there. I'm like, Cody, you're gonna make me live in this house where there's no fire? Like, I could burn myself. Yeah, it heats up red. Peasants. I love that condo until my downstairs neighbor ruined it. That's a story for later, though. So anyway, moving right along. Would you rather manage residential rental properties with multiple tenants or commercial properties with fewer but more demanding tenants?
Commercial period.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That one was like,
I do not want to get a phone call
yes.
at 2 a.m.
Yep.
about a broken fucking toilet.
Yep. I agree.
Period.
Yep.
I don't property manage because it's nasty.
Yeah.
People who property manage, please call me. Give me your cards. Give me your business because I will never do it, but I'll refer you to everybody. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough
That
go.
is a different sort of breed of you gotta have patience. You gotta be able the on-call aspect of it, that's a new level of stress.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Commercial's okay though.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
For future reference. Would you rather manage a single high-value rental property or multiple low-value rental properties? This is residential or commercial, doesn't matter.
Am I the owner? Am I the manager?
Let's do owner.
If I'm the owner, I want a bunch of Section 8s.
Okay.
Yep.
And then what if you are what did you say, renter or property manager? What if you're the property manager?
One guy.
You got one guy.
Yeah, because that's one phone call.
That's true. You just right there.
There it is.
Boom, done.
I'm done.
All right. Are you ready for this last Reddit story?
Let's do it.
It starts at a wild intersection of life
Oh, no.
and death.
Oh, no.
First 4 words. At my dad's funeral.
Stop.
All right, here we go. We're diving into this. At my dad's funeral, a real estate agent approached me, offering her condolences before saying she knew my dad was considering selling his...
You're fucking around. Donna, you're fucking around.
I'm not. I'm so sorry to the person that this happened to, but saying she knew my dad was considering selling his lot at a specific location. She handed me her business card. In shock, I mumbled my thanks and took the card. My dad had only been dead for a week, and I knew his real plans for the property. He was working with an architect to build his retirement home there to be closer to me and his grandchildren. The agent's attempt to suggest otherwise at his funeral was outrageous. My dad passed away unexpectedly in July 2022, and I am only now grappling over the bad actors that came out of the woodwork when he passed. I have been thinking about real estate agents in our area recently, as I believe highly unethical behavior has taken place in recent years as people were dying during COVID. Alerting investors to grab the properties that might be unclaimed, I couldn't help but notice this particular agent name came up a few times in local auctions and trustee sales. So my question to you, what do you think of the actions of the realtor, and is this a common trend since 2020?
Number one, what the fuck?
I think that's the only comment anyone in their right mind could have.
Yeah.
At the funeral? Read the room, my God.
Now at a wedding, I can't.
A wedding is a happy time.
Yeah, it's a happy time.
Did you sell at my wedding? Because if you did, props.
I didn't have business cards.
Oh, but you were buying people shots. That's practically a business card.
Spoiler. If I can steal 30 seconds, I can sell them.
You want a shot? You selling your house?
By the way, what do you do?
Yeah, like what are your plans for the future? Let's get into this. So anyway, the funeral, actions of this realtor. Okay. Obviously.
Number one, if you're soliciting at a funeral, you're either a dog
or you're desperate
or you're just the worst.
Yeah.
You're the worst. So I'm going to assume she's not a dog. So, number one. Number two, you gotta be respectful. I can't say I wouldn't have done weird shit like that, but at a funeral,
not at the funeral,
that's too
right?
much. As far as like soliciting the deceased properties, the probate properties that get listed, I hate to say there's a lot of people that do that.
Really?
I know more than 10.
That are showing up at funerals? Or not at funerals. Okay.
That are looking for properties of deceased that are in probate or otherwise.
Okay.
Right? The people who have passed, they match them up. The owners, they match them up with those. It's a lot of lots, like land. It happens all the time. Regular real estate, usually in the will, usually in the trust. Land's usually it's out there doing something. It's not usually included in a lot of things. I think I have 4 people right now that brought me probate land in the last 10 days.
10 days? 4 people? That's wild.
But it's across California.
Yeah. So this isn't just a COVID specific thing. This is just like a general thing that happens. This is what happens when I try and gesture with my hands. I hit the mic. So this is a general thing that happens on the regular. Just going into the deceased's properties and trying to work something out.
Trying to get them, if it could be a lot of things. It could be tax liens against the properties that they want to go to auction with. They let the owners, the new owners know. They let the probate courts know. They start filing petitions. I see a lot of stuff happen in divorce. If you have a divorce, they're very predatory. It gets to be a little nasty, but at the end of the day, what are they gonna fucking do with it?
Yeah.
So I'm not knocking the business. I'm just knocking how she went about it.
What goes through your mind in that scenario? You're like, I got to make sure I got my business cards, my black on, not like the suits.
Easy, Tiger.
Okay. The funeral blacks, the wardrobe.
The LBD.
I don't know what that means.
The little black dress.
Oh, yeah. I should have known that.
I'm surprised you didn't actually.
Probably because I just said the long form little black dress. Isn't that the same amount of syllables as LBD? So it's like, why not just say all the words? Well, I guess little is too. Anyway, moving right ahead. Anyway, so imagine showing up to this funeral and being like, I know exactly what I'm doing here. And it's not to pay my respects. It's to pay myself.
Well, the first... You ever read The Richest Man in Babylon?
No.
Okay. There's a couple of concepts on this, but I remember reading this, and they're like, you got to pay yourself. So give yourself 10% first.
Okay.
So you got to pay yourself first.
Okay.
So the point is, whatever you make, you pay yourself first, and then you can pay other bills or whatever it is.
Okay. I go backwards on that, but sure.
Yeah. So I know it's a concept thing, but
yeah, that is a nice concept, but at the funeral.
Yeah. A wedding, perhaps.
A wedding I can imagine because everyone's drunk and happy.
Bar mitzvah, bar none. See, now that's that's funny.
A funeral. My condolences on your loss.
Yep.
How big is the square footage on your house? Is the kitchen updated? How many bathrooms does it have?
Yeah. If I was going to do something with that, I'd probably be like, hey, listen, I know your dad. I'm like,
you're not going to win. At the end of the day, you're still at a funeral. The dad is still dead.
No. Hey, listen, I know your dad. Appreciate you guys. Sorry for your loss. and then I'm sorry. I'm not there.
Okay.
I'd probably like, sorry for your loss. Let me know when's good time so we can just touch base. Just talk a little bit. Mm-hmm. Open-ended.
I like the open-endedness.
Yeah. If you're chasing
I still like if I was at my dad's funeral and someone walked up to me and said that, I would still be like, what are you doing here?
Physical violence is.
Would you like me to shovel some ground for you too? We could put you right in. Like the tractors are here.
Violence is.
This is a 2-for-1 deal. But yeah, I think that is it's a good way to end the show, just on death.
You wrapped it up on death? For fuck's sake, Donna.
Sorry, would you want to do one more Would You Rather?
Okay.
Wait, let me get a good one. I'm reading them over.
That's okay. Take your time.
I'm sorry. Maybe I should have ended on the John Doe's.
It's okay.
Where can we find you? Joplin Financial?
Stop it.
Listen, we only have 17 seconds left before the camera times out. Shameless plug number 6, 7. I can't even remember now. We're ending it on death. It's the death of this episode.
If you guys need to call me. Okay, ready?
Begin.
So whenever I'm out to dinner with anybody and we're all friends and we're having a good time, and everyone's talking about stuff, and at the very end we're figuring out who's going to pay. And I always hate when we split checks. I'm not a split check kind of guy. I'm like, either you're paying or I'm paying. So I always tell them, well, if I'm paying, then if you know anybody buying, selling, leasing, or refinancing real estate, call me.
Sick.
That's it.
That's a great plug.
Not bad?
Not bad.
Number 9.
I knew how to start the episode, had no idea how to land the plane. Right on.
Call me Captain Job. I had to look.
I didn't. I'm a no-look kind of girl.
Oh.
What?
Phrasing.
And that's the end of that episode.
Thanks, everybody.